my name is Natalie Bartholow, and today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make toilet paper food sculpture out of, you heard me, toilet paper. All right, so obviously the first thing you're going to need some toilet paper. This is what we used, and it estimates to be about 1 roll per student, roughly. You might be thinking, okay, where do I begin? I've never sculpted with toilet paper. Well, I personally had never sculpted with toilet paper, and I had to teach myself. It was quite difficult, I will say that. It's very different than like sculpting with a clay or plaster or something that holds its shape. So the easiest thing to start with, honestly, is making a salad. One of the most realistic results, and it was not difficult at all. To begin, what you're gonna do is take 2 squares of toilet paper, and you're gonna fold it one on top of the other and place it down on your workspace. All right, from there, you're going to take a spray bottle of water and dampen your toilet paper. Press down on your toilet paper so that you can evenly distribute that water. Okay, this is where the patience is gonna come in, because as you can tell, the toilet paper is already wanting to break. What you're gonna do next is just take a regular watercolor palette. It doesn't matter what kind, and you're going to apply the paint directly onto your wet square. So I'm gonna do some spots of green, and I'm even going to apply just a little bit of yellow. Okay, now what you're gonna do is take your toilet paper and crinkle it up and just kind of smush the water so that you're distributing that paint throughout the whole toilet paper piece. Then you're gonna very, very carefully unwrap that, and you're gonna have something that looks like this. What you're gonna do from here, so we've got 1 ginormous piece of lettuce. What you're gonna do is you're gonna rip it into pieces. So you're just going to rip it and place it on your workspace. The great thing about lettuce is that there's not a specific shape that it should be. They can be bigger, they can be smaller. And if you're doing something like iceberg lettuce, you can have the whites of the toilet paper showing. So you're just gonna continue to rip your lettuce pieces into random shapes. I suggest ripping over cutting because this is gonna give you a more organic shape. All right, there you have it. So now what we're gonna do is let these dry. So I'm gonna set these aside and I'll show you them when they're done and dry. All right, another really simple thing to do is cheese. So in the salad here, I do have some shredded cheese. So we can do shredded cheese or just, I'll show you how to do a square. All right, here we go. So for cheese, you're going to take 2 or 3 squares, and we're gonna start off in the same way as lettuce. So you're gonna take 2 or 3 squares and fold them one within the other. Go ahead and place it down flat on your workspace, and we're gonna spray it with some water. Just spray enough to get it damp, but not soaking wet. All right, let's add color. So we're gonna go directly in with our watercolor. I like to use this color here. I like to call it like mac and cheese colored when I am teaching this to kids. It's kind of like a light orange. You can use yellow or any color that you prefer for your cheese. Now remember, the most important part of watercolor is the water. So make sure your brush is wet with water before you dip it into your palette. You shouldn't be scooping your watercolor or have it be sticky at all. All right, I'm gonna flip it over to see how well it applied to the other side. There are a few white spots, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit more paint on this side, like so. Okay, so right now our cheese looks like this. If you wanted a square of cheese, you could just let it dry just like this, or you have a couple options. If you want some shredded cheese, What I like to do is take scissors and go ahead and cut it with scissors so that you get a nice crisp line. My cheese is pretty wet, so I'm going to place it aside for now, and then I'll cut it later when it's dry. Let's make some chicken nuggets. They're very easy and they're not frustrating because they don't have to be a certain shape. We usually talk about what kind of chicken do you want to make. So Chick-fil-A nuggets are usually shaped kind of like popcorn chicken, whereas McDonald's, they're usually, I don't even know how to describe this shape. They're just more organic and a little bit more flat. I'm gonna show you how to make both kinds of nuggets. All you're gonna do is take, I don't know, it just depends on how thick you want your nuggets. I took about 3 squares. What I'm gonna do is crinkle it up, and I'm gonna dip it directly in my water cup. So I dipped it directly into my water cup. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of squeeze out all of the water. Now the popcorn chicken bites are really easy to make because that's all you really have to do. Just dip it in water, squeeze it out, and set it aside to dry. Let's make a couple more. So let's make something that looks more along the lines of like frozen chicken nuggets or McDonald's chicken nuggets. So what I like to do is take a few squares of toilet paper and fold them. Have you noticed a trend? This is how you start a lot of projects. Then what you're gonna do is fold in the edges to just make a random shape. As you fold it, you're just gonna hold that with your other thumb so that it stays folded. Just like that. All right, what I'm gonna do is spray this right here so that it kind of sticks. Okay, so now we have a shaped nugget. What you're gonna do from here is take some toilet paper and we're gonna dampen it and then wrap it around. I'm gonna dampen it and now I'm gonna wrap it. So think of it like wrapping a gift. You're just gonna keep tucking those edges. Like so. Now, it's a bit thin, so I'm gonna add like 2 more layers. Just like that. I might want to play around with the shape a little bit more just to make it more nugget-like. All right, so here you have it. So you can make kind of like frozen nuggets or like McDonald's nuggets or like popcorn chicken or Chick-fil-A chicken. If you're interested in more resources, check out my TpT page at Artful Resources. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you guys have lots of fun creating this in your own classroom.